I've been on the road, I've been doing shows. Now we eating steak, remember sleeping on the floor. We stillin' at the gas station when the time was cold. In the kitchen, hot still trying to flip it out the stove. Rockin' fake J's, praying that nobody know. Watch them take my dog away, it was way too hard to stay.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Episode 63 of the Erick and Brad Show. Episode 63 of the Erick and Brad Show. We do this podcast once a week. Usually comes out on Mondays. You can email us if you want, erickandbradshow@gmail.com, erickandbradshow@gmail.com. If you're listening on an Apple device, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a review on there, on Apple Music, and that is really awesome if you do that. If you're listening on Spotify, you can hit follow. If you're listening on YouTube, you can subscribe to the show and like this episode. Press the like button, all that good stuff. My name's Brad. This is Erick. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How's Brad's life going?
Good. I think it's going pretty good. I'm being pretty productive.
Well, that's fantastic.
My new deck is basically done, other than staining.
Oh.
And that's awesome, but my backyard still looks like a construction site, so now I'm getting anxious and paranoid about the cleanup that needs to be done, because stuff needs to get hauled away, extra lumber. And then I'm getting siding done this week, which is like the final thing to do. I got a new roof, new deck, and now really need new siding done. And then I'm currently driving a Ford Fiesta, piece of shit, garbage, trash, fucking Ford Fiesta, because it's a rental car that my insurance is paying for because my car is
the hail damage.
Yeah, I'm getting hail damage fixed. So I'm feeling, even though I'm not doing the deck or the siding or the roof, I'm still feeling pretty productive because I pulled the trigger to get the car fixed. For a minute there, I wasn't going to get the hail damage fixed.
Yeah.
And just keep the money. So, but now I'm just gonna get it fixed because I feel like my car is just with that hail damage, and I don't like that feeling. It's just me. So I'm just going to get it fixed. And they're going to pay half my deductible, and the rental it's nice that the rental car is free for me. That was kind of a big thing. And they set it up for me, the dent repair place. They're like, "Can we do your car today?" And I'm like, "No, you can do my car when you get me a car. Like, get me a rental car, and then you can do it." And then within a day, they got me a rental car. Because apparently there's no rental cars here because everyone's getting hail damage fixed.
Oh, all the rental cars are taken up.
Yeah, so it was hard to get one, but they got me one. And the fucking car is terrible, but it's kind of nice still just having a little rental car.
Dude, I used to have, so it's weird that Ford did this because now they're called the Ford Fiesta. They used to make, the 90s one was called the Ford Festiva. I don't know why they fucking changed it, but the spelling was different. Do you remember the Festiva? Because I had a Festiva. I remember
the name.
I had a 92 3-cylinder Festiva, and that thing would get damn near almost 50 miles to a gallon. I used to drive, when I had that, I was working in Sampa, in Laclede, and I was living in Coeur d'Alene. And so I'd drive there 5 days a week, back and forth from Coeur d'Alene to Laclede. And fucking... You know, that's a good trip.
Like on the way to Priest River?
Yeah. So it's a decent trip. You know, that's like an hour. Fucking now that I'm saying that in Portland traffic, it's like an hour and shit. I'd make it 5 times the distance in the same amount of time in Idaho, which is just funny to me. So that, I don't know, 55 miles or something like that, maybe 60 miles to there. And so do that back and forth. So 120 miles times 600 miles or whatever that is, 600 miles a week, and it would cost me $10 a week in gas.
Yeah.
And that Ford Festiva, I missed that fucking car. I hated it when I drove it because I was poor and broke, and it was the only thing I fucking had. I hated that fucking car. I felt like a fucking idiot driving that stupid little dinky thing around. It's dumb. Yeah. Now I would fucking, oh my God, I'd rock the shit out of that car. Dude, it was amazing.
A Festiva, not a Fiesta.
A Festiva. I mean, maybe. I drive, me and the girl have switched cars. I drive a stupid little dinky hybrid car with
So stupid.
no bells, no whistles, base model, no fucking upgrades. The Bluetooth doesn't fucking work at all in it. It takes about 15 minutes to get the Bluetooth to work inside that piece of shit. Fords are fucking garbage. I hate Fords.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I would. I would. I know. I know someone. I know someone that listens, or maybe doesn't. But we just got into it. Fords are fucking trash. I hate Fords. Across the board,
I
Fords
say
are shit fucking cars.
But sitting in the car, looking at the dash and looking at everything inside, I'm like, I want to slit the throat of whatever engineer designed this because it just looks disgusting.
The Ford Festiva only had one rear view mirror. I can't remember. I think it was on the driver's side. It might have been, but it's like that was the design. It only had one. So you only have two mirrors because it's that small. They're just like, you don't need three mirrors. Fucking this thing's so tiny. I could sit inside that car and like scoot over the stick shift and take both my hands and fucking put them like out each fucking window and hold them straight down. It was so small. And then two guys in a parking lot, two guys could lift one side of the whole car and just fucking, you could take the car, two people, and you could just spin it around. Two guys could just do a 180 in the fucking car. I miss that car.
Yeah,
the car was fucking fun. Yeah. You'd die if you got in a car wreck, but it was a cool car.
You'd get crumped.
I really liked that car. I miss that car.
And yesterday I added a third camera in my house. So I'm feeling very productive because I did a whole thing because it was like I added a camera where there's no outlet, so I had to get a long USB male to female, and then the outlet had a USB port, so I plugged it in there, and then I did these little cord hiders all the way down and up and over a door, and like hid the whole cord or whatever. That took all morning. But
the like Walmart or the Home Depot
camera crazy.
The Home Depot fucking cord hiders that like break apart and then you snap them back together. Is that what you're talking about? Come in 5-foot strips?
No. These from Walmart. They came in like 11-inch strips.
You have some sitting right there or something like that?
Stick to the wall. And yeah.
I just forewarning. Does it have a sticky thing on one side? Does it have a sticky thing on one side? Dude, in the last apartment we were in, I had to fucking buy a bunch of paint because I had done that. For the podcast, I had done cord hiding because I had the router. There was a reason why we put the router in the room. I can't remember what it was. But it's like, I think because if we put the router out in the living room, we couldn't get Wi-Fi TV in the bedroom. But for some reason, if we put it in the bedroom, no, it was because of fucking God, that apartment I hated so fucking bad. None of the fucking coaxial cables worked in the apartment, and the fucking then we had Xfinity come out, Comcast come out, and the guy's like, oh yeah, he's like, the problem is here because I was on the phone. I'm like, it's not fucking working. I'm like, I'm plugging in the goddamn thing and nothing happens. And I was like, it's just a yellow light. They're like, well, maybe try a different coaxial. And after like a week, we finally get someone out to come help us. And then the people are like, oh yeah, your apartment complex is too fucking stingy and they won't pay to have us come set up the apartment. And they're like, it costs like $5,000 to come set the apartment up so that everyone in the apartment can get internet. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, they won't do it. So they just ran a fucking coaxial cable out the back side of the fucking apartment building, just laying on the fucking ground. And then he just ran it in the back door of my apartment. And like through the slider, now there's a 1/4-inch gap in my slider. And I'm like, I can't, what? And he's like, I don't know what to tell you, bud. Here's your coaxial. See you later. I'm just like, motherfucker. I
think it's just coaxial.
Coaxial?
Coaxial.
Coaxial?
I think it's just coaxial.
I think it's coaxial. I think it's coaxial cable. I think I'm right. I think you're wrong on this one.
Well, this is the first time in 29 years I've heard someone say coaxial.
Erick and Brad show at gmail.com. We'll dig into that one a little bit later. And fucking... Anyways, long story. But yeah, that as soon as I started saying that, I forgot how fucking pissed that made me. Because I ended up just drilling a hole in the side of the fucking apartment complex and just sticking the cable through the wall. But anyways, when I fucking took all the cord hiders out, because then I ran an Ethernet cable out to my computer in the living room, and fucking, so I had like 30 feet of those cord hiders. Fucking, and they just like stick to the wall. Fucking, it ripped the paint everywhere that shit was on there. Sucked ass.
Yeah.
And so I had to repaint.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't very happy about it. To repaint
I have the paint. I've taken a chip of paint off the wall and gone to the store and had the makeup thing for me.
Yeah, to do the old paint match.
Yeah, the paint match. So I'm not too worried. And I use it other places. So if there's a little bit, there's going to be a lot or whatever. If that happens, it's going to be a lot. But I'm like camera crazy. So now I got 3 cameras and I'm thinking like, should I get another one? Because these cameras are incredible. I'd pay $100. I was thinking about it. They're $35 a piece. I would pay $100 a piece for the quality that I'm getting out of these. I'm like loving it, and it gives me a piece.
How
of
come?
mind.
I was just in Holiday Shores there in Hope, and I was looking at their cameras, and because they got a little TV behind the desk, and their cameras are like money, dude. Like 4K, they looked like 4K. Like you'd see fucking perfectly. How come? It seems like most people are like that, but then if there's ever a fucking robbery, it's like fucking, you can't see a goddamn thing on it. It's like, are we not in 2021? How come every time there's a fucking robbery, it's a 1980s fucking videotape of these fucking people? And they're just like, have you seen this person? And it's like, yeah, he looks like every person on the face of the planet, black, white, and Asian. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know. Just outdated maybe, and I can't stand when people like want to hire a service to put cameras in their house. It's like, dude, it's so easy. Just buy your own. You have the app. You have an app. It's like, I love it. It gives me a peace of mind. I wouldn't ever put any inside the house, but on the outside, it's nice to have, I think. And it's all for just post incident. In my setup, like if anything happens, then I'll have something afterwards, but nothing's gonna prevent anything from happening. But I think I'm gonna go get a sticker and put it on like by my front door that says cameras. I love it. You should get cameras.
I know. I really want cameras. It's just
it's so sweet.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Hell yeah!
It gives me a peace of mind. Yeah. And then I went to the movies last night.
Oh,
fuck. Haven't been in a long time, but I've been hearing about this movie, and I hadn't been hearing good things, but I was still like,
Space Jam.
It's kind of the first. No, it's kind of like the first movie that's like a little bit halfway intriguing, and it's the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Called
Old.
Oh, okay.
No, it's called Old, and that's that guy. That's the guy. Sixth Sense, Signs. That guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's kind of been on like in the village, and I really just hate the fucking guy. I don't like him. He's such like a Hitchcock wannabe. And I'd heard bad things about this movie. It's got like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay,
but
this fucking dude, he had one knock it out of the park movie, and then he's been trailing that movie his entire career. Fucking.
Everyone's gonna have a different opinion on him, you know.
The Sixth Sense was literally probably the biggest movie of the 2000, from 2000 to 2005. It came out in 2000. I'm assuming 2002 or something like that is when that movie came out.
Yeah, I thought it was like 99.
No, it was when I was in Idaho. It was past 2000. It has to be. But fucking, it might be. If it was 99, it was
it's 1999.
Oh, wow.
1999.
Okay, fucking. Yeah. Well, that movie was fucking huge for like 5 years. That was like, that was like Gladiator. It was just one of those movies that in its time was just like, fucking Jesus Christ. And then every movie since then has just been a downhill fucking... Didn't he do... Am I high? Is he the one that did all the superhero ones? Isn't that M. Night Shyamalan? The Invincible and Unbreakable or whatever and fucking...
Yeah. Unbreakable, yeah.
That's M. Night Shyamalan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a superhero trilogy. Have you not seen... I didn't even know that was a thing until a few months ago, and someone like showed it all to me, and I'm like... What? It's like a weird knockoff fucking... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Well, I remember-
The Village is where I drew the line. I was like Signs was okay. I was like, okay, this is a pretty cool movie. Like Swing Away.
Yeah.
Swing Away. I was into it at the time. I was a little scared. I saw that one in the theaters. The Village was the stupidest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. I hated that movie.
See, I like The Village.
I know we've talked about this before, and you said you liked it.
Have we?
And I was like, this movie sucks.
I remember I was in like middle school or something, and I saw Sixth Sense, and it scared the fuck out of me. It was fucking it terrified the shit out of me, and then Signs scared the shit out of me too. And but then The Village, I kind of liked The Village, even though I don't know, it's a weird one. And then that Split movie scared the fucking shit out of me too, and that was just like 3 or 4 years ago. Did you see that movie?
No, I remember people talking about it.
Creepy.
Now if movies say they're fucking scary, I'm not even. Just check me out. Oh.
Yeah, but it's like his style of scary. It's not like it's gonna scare you that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure all his movies are PG-13.
He does something I really actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I really actually admire the way he goes about scaring people. It's not, he never goes after like, bah! You know what I mean? It's almost the complete opposite. He's way more trying to get the suspense of something to scare you. And like in Signs, there's only one moment really where they do that fucking when it's in, but they do such a good buildup is when he's in the fucking closet and they've locked him in the fucking closet. And that whole fucking intro, I don't know. I thought that was a good scene. That was a really well directed scene where it's M. Night Shyamalan, right? Yeah, he's the dude that locks him in there and he's just like, yeah, preacher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that was good. But so much of that was more just like, it was like just no fucking soundtrack, you know what I mean? And just silence in the movie. And it was like, it puts you on edge. And you're just like, God damn it, fucking.
Yeah, he has like a bunch of bad movies and movies that are like, you could say are overall bad. But I feel like sometimes with like certain scenes he has in these movies, he just like completely nails them perfectly. Like in that movie Split, which is just... freaks me the fuck out, even though it's still just his style of scary. But the opening scene where this guy abducts like these 3 teenage girls is fucking amazing scene. It is so suspenseful and tense and freaky that it's like, that is a perfect scene. But then he goes and has a bunch of fucking not good scenes. So I don't know, and he always puts himself in the movies because that's a Hitchcock thing, and he's just a Hitchcock like wannabe. But at the same time, I admire that he's built like a career out of these movies.
What do you mean?
Like
all those motherfuckers. So does fucking, what's his name? Goddamn
Tarantino.
Tarantino does the same fucking thing.
Not every movie, but
pretty much he's in most movies.
Yeah, he's definitely in most movies. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. So
couldn't you just be like, he's a fucking Hitchcock wanting motherfucker, like blah blah?
He is a Hitchcock. No. But M. Night Shyamalan more because his movies are more of like a Hitchcock style of creeping you out. Yeah. And this movie, even when the movie started, it's just him sitting there and he like introduces it, and I'm like, oh my god, this fucking guy. Like, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. It's this movie. These like a couple families go on vacation to a resort, and then they all find a private beach. And on this private beach, they get stuck on it, and you age quicker on it. Every hour is 2 years, so they all start aging quickly. So like the older adults quickly get like dementia and like mental stuff, and like the kids start out the movie. The kids are 6. When the movie ends, these kids are like in their 20s because just time is just rapid and whatever. And I'm like, I'm probably not gonna like it, but it's nice to have a movie that actually makes you think a little bit, and it raises some like, and him with his twists. You're like, there's always gonna be some crazy twist at the end, so it actually raises some like interesting ethical and moral questions at the end. But I don't know, it was interesting. It was a cool experience, I guess. That guy is just it's really. And it's like every movie forces you to have an opinion on it. Like everyone has an opinion on the movie, which is nice that it's not just some mindless garbage. So I'll give him that.
Okay. I like it.
That's
so. Wait, what was it? What movie did you just see?
Old.
Old? Wait, that's the movie, or Split was what you were just talking about?
No, Old.
Old is the movie you just described, the island movie. Oh, I thought you were describing Split. Okay.
No, that's Old. I mean, if you see it pop up on some streaming service in a few months, I'd definitely watch it.
Okay.
I'd definitely watch it.
Guess what I just watched? I can't. It's been 2 weeks. I should have brought it up on the last episode. I watched Doctor Sleep, and I really fucking liked that movie. It's Doctor Sleep, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the fucking Shining 2, essentially.
Yeah. You liked it. Dude, you should watch that Room 237 or whatever, the documentary.
I know, it's on Prime, and fuck, it's like the one service I don't have. And I've thought a lot about getting Prime, but fuck, I got all of them, and just, it makes me so, I don't know.
I think it might be on YouTube.
I don't know, like just YouTube? Just straight up YouTube, or YouTube
Yeah.
TV or whatever?
I think just straight up YouTube. You'd like it.
I'll inevitably watch it. I almost rented it like a few months ago. I almost rented it, but I was like, I don't feel like renting a fucking documentary.
Yeah.
But
I think it'll make you appreciate the movie.
You've seen Doctor
more.
Sleep, right?
Yeah, my biggest problem was that old lady was in it too much. I was like, get
The
this old bitch
old
out of
lady
here.
is in it too much. What old
Yeah,
lady?
with like the sores and the boils, like that old nasty creepy lady.
What?
You know that in The Shining, he sees a hot chick in the bath, and then he hugs her, and then she turns into the old creepy lady.
Okay. Yeah. You just didn't like looking at her as your problem?
Yeah, because when I watched The Shining, I skipped that scene, and then in Doctor Sleep, she's like in it all the time, and I'm like, get this fucking old creepy lady out of here.
I thought it was a really cool idea. So the thing I'm wondering, because it's based off a book. When I was watching it, I looked it up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so he wrote the book for this, right? So what I don't understand, what I want to kind of dig through is he obviously wrote the book, Doctor Sleep, based off of the movie, not based off of the book. Because at the end of The Shining, the book, the fucking hotel gets destroyed. It's gone.
Right.
It burned up. So does he acknowledge that, like in the preface, or like just like, hey, this book actually is based off the movie and not the original book? Because it doesn't make any sense. The movie doesn't make any... Doctor Sleep doesn't make any sense based on the book. It only makes sense based on the fucking movie. And then the same with the old guy. Fucking, well, kind of. The old guy in fucking... In the end of the book, they end it different. Not only do they burn that shit, the fucking mom and it essentially... They hint at like the mom is going to end up getting with the black dude. And they all end up in Florida, and they're with the black dude, and he starts a restaurant down in Florida, and fucking they move with him. They're trying to get as far away from fucking Colorado as possible, so they move down to Florida with the fucking whatever the fucking that dude's name is. I forget what that dude's name is. The cook.
Dick Halloran or something?
Yeah. Yep, Halloran. And fucking so then that kind of doesn't really make any sense with the way.
So if you were to just read the books and not watch the movies, the hotel would get blown up twice? If you just read the two
Exactly.
books?
So it doesn't make any sense.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So it was more like... It's like he just like gave up. Like he's like, well, fucking no one read my book. They all just fucking watch The Shining. So I guess if I write number 2, I got to fucking write it based off the stupid ass movie that motherfucker stole from me.
That I sold to that guy.
Yeah. Fucking piece of shit. He was drunk. He didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the movie too. I don't know. It got a little too magic-y for me.
I liked the fucking... I don't know. I liked the idea what they were doing with the whole fucking sucking people's powers out of them and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's awesome, man. You have to watch that. The documentary is like you'd get the trifecta of all three.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Well, what was funny is I noticed a few things. So they probably bring this up in that documentary, but am I wrong now that I'm thinking, like, fucking, in the book, it was room 217. In the fucking movie, they changed the number of the room, right? What is the number again?
Yeah.
To
I think it's 237.
237. But then in the movie Doctor Sleep, they change it back to fucking 217, right?
Really? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they did. And I was like, see, he's like, to me, I was like, he's kind of talking shit, like right there. Like that was, because I'm assuming he had more play in this movie. Like he had like direction. He could like, no, we're doing it this way type thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know either.
I really liked it. I'd suggest it to people. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
So for M. Night Shyamalan, would you say thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'll give it just a fucking intermediate, indifferent thumb. An indifferent thumb. Okay. A horizontal and indifferent thumb.
Me too. And okay. that split movie is like this guy captures these 3 teenagers, and the guy has like 23 different personalities inside of him. So he's constantly changing personalities. He's like, oh, now I'm Barbara. Now I'm fucking Trevor. Now
wait,
I'm
that's
Janice.
Part of the... Okay, wait a second. Split is part of the fucking superhero one. That's part of the superhero. So it goes Unbreakable, Split, and then there's a third one where then they all like get together and like they're fighting each other. And the Split dude is fucking like the bad guy, and the Unbreakable guy is like kind of the good guy. Yeah.
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 But it's just creepy. I don't like. It's creepy, and it's good. It's a good acting by that James McAvoy guy. Because to be an actor and to take that role, I feel like would be fucking crazy. Because there's actual real people like that in the world. And it just creeps me out because there's a scene with him talking to the girls that he's like kidnapped, and you're just like waiting. You're waiting for him to turn to switch into the bad personality that wants to like hurt them. And then he has other personalities that's like is like friendly with them and shit. And I'm just like on the edge of my seat, like waiting for it to just flip inside of him. And I'm like, fuck, dude. It's just very tense. That's a really good movie. But I probably can never watch it again because it freaks me out.
Yeah. Doesn't he end up having, like, he can, like, run really fast, right? Can he, like, turn into a dog type of thing and he starts, like, fucking hauling ass?
Yeah. And that's part of there's always a twist at the end. So that's kind of part of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking...
So, we went to Safeway 3 days ago. Fucking pull into the parking lot in my truck. Whole family's there. Fucking, I go through the parking lot, do like 2 little passes, and I go like to the outskirts. I usually go to the outskirts.
I do too.
I don't fucking want to be next to people. Like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Then we fucking...
I don't mind walking.
Then we go into the fucking Safeway, come out, fucking giant scratch down the side of my truck, dude. I have been hit so many... I'm like done buying... Like, dude... I've been hit 4 fucking times at a dead stop in my truck. Like, what in the absolute fuck is going on here? And of course, there's no car there. It's empty. They hit me and they fucking drove off. Then I'm fucking pissed and I'm driving around the fucking parking lot trying to find a white car with orange paint on it. Like, everywhere. I'm just like, where the fuck is this motherfucker at? Like, I know, like, either he just dipped or he just... I was like, he's here. He just parked somewhere else and was just like, I'm not going to park next to him. And fucking never found it. But I spent about 10, 15 minutes going through the parking lot like, yeah. I fucking... Dude, I'm so pissed, dude. I just don't fucking get it. I do not...
So you were out in the middle of nowhere in the parking lots and someone hit you?
Yes.
You could tell it was a car?
I think like so. It was down.
Not like a key?
No, it was down low. It was like where it fucking starts wrapping down at the bottom, starts wrapping into itself, and then just a perfect horizontal line, pretty much over both doors. Just beep, fucking white scrape mark all the way fucking down.
That's pretty retarded.
It makes me real fucking mad. I don't get it, dude. I don't get why I have every shitty car I've ever had, fucking no one hits it. No one hits that shit. No one fucking... And I'll drive like a fucking asshole, park in ridiculous spots. fucking, I go park out there, fucking people just, I don't get it, dude. I've been hit in a McDonald's fucking drive-thru. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how are you hitting me in a fucking McDonald's drive-thru? Fucking, the dude had the fucking heart attack behind me. Like, what are the fucking odds of that? And then fucking parked out in the fucking cart corral. Like, it makes me so mad.
Yeah. I like parking way out there. I think it's crazy to be driving up and down the parking lot looking for a close spot. It's so stupid. And then squeezing into it. It's like, what are you doing? Just park way out there next to nobody, next to the employees, and just have yourself a nice walk. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And not get hit.
I'm still fucking, I think about it and I get fucking amped up. It just, fucking pieces of shit, dude. It just makes me so mad.
So you have to get it fixed now?
No, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm trying not to think about it. I keep forgetting about it, and then I think about it and fucking get all riled up about it all over again. This makes me so mad. I don't... Motherfucker.
That's fucked. That's crazy.
Yeah. Really, really grinds my gears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never hit anybody. Not really. I've never been hit. Not really.
Yeah.
You got bad luck.
Yeah, I've hit one person. Then me and Cheyenne got in that whole conversation. She's like, "You ever hit anybody?" I'm like, "Nope." And I'm like, "But I fell asleep at the wheel once." But I was like, I was like, to me, I don't blame myself on that one. That one was my dad's fault. I fucking didn't want to be driving, and he fucking forced me to come home. He's like, "You're coming home." I hadn't slept, and I was fucking baked out of my gourd. And fucking, it was just, fell asleep at the wheel on a fucking icy road. I couldn't, like, who puts cruise control on an icy road? Fucking idiot puts cruise control on an icy road. And I fucking flew off that motherfucker. But I don't blame that one. And then one time when I was 19, I was driving a Buick Regal, and that thing turned like a fucking boat. And I'd completely forgot about it till I was really digging into my brain. Like, no, I've never been in a wreck. And then there in Sandpoint, pulling into the Starbucks out in Ponderay, I fucking pulled into a spot and fucking hit a Cadillac Escalade. And that lady was fucking furious. As soon as I did it, I'm like, "Motherfucker," and I pull in the spot and I'm just like shaking my head, and she fucking damn near breaks the door down coming out of the fucking nail salon or whatever she was in. And she's, "What the fuck?" I'm just like, and it wasn't even that bad. I barely fucking nicked it. Right on, bumper to bumper, fucking just barely caught it. Put a fucking tiny little scratch in it. And I was like, fuck me. And, and she called the cops and said, she's like screaming at me. She's like, "You're on drugs." I'm like, "I'm not fucking on drugs. I'm just tired." It was bad.
Jesus.
I didn't have insurance either. That sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, I got suspended for a year.
Because the cop showed up?
Yeah, he was the coolest cop ever. He was driving like a late 90s Chevy pickup truck. Like, I'd never even seen that truck in Sandpoint, like a sheriff's truck. And fucking like a 2-seater pickup truck. And I'm like, and it was this old, fatter guy. And he fucking pulls in, and fucking, she screamed at me for fucking 10 minutes. She's just screaming at me. She's like, "You're on drugs. I know you're on drugs." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I don't know why you're freaking out. Like, I'm here. Like, it's done. I'm here to do the whole process. Like, you can stop screaming now." And she's just like, "This isn't even my car." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Okay." And so I just stopped talking, and she's just screaming. And then the cop pulls up, and he fucking gets out, and the lady's just like, "This fucking piece," she's screaming, and then screaming at the cop. She's like, "This fucking piece of shit, blah, 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 blah." And the cop like turns to me, and she's still screaming. He's like, what were you doing?" And I was like, "I was just coming here to get some fucking coffee." And he's like, "Just go get your coffee." He's like, "Just go get your coffee. I'll meet you in there in a fucking few minutes." And I'm like, "Okay." And then then they're just out talking. And then he comes into Starbucks, and he's like, "That lady." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, she's freaking the fuck out." And he's like, "Yeah, he's like completely on my side." He's just like, "Dude, this lady is out of her mind." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, dude." And then he's like, well, you don't have insurance?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, that sucks." He's like, I wouldn't even report this, but he's like, I have to because she's making a big deal about it. And he's like, so I have to make a report. And he's like, and I'm not supposed to let you drive out of here without insurance. But he's like, I'm going to take a right. So I suggest you take a left. I'm just like, okay. And he's just like, then he just got in his truck, took off. I was like, fuck yeah, man. He's a cool cop. I like that guy. That was the only time.
Day ruiner. Definitely a day ruiner when anything happens like that. Anything that now insurance, you have to do an insurance thing. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like me with my hail damage.
So
just rather not.
There was this thing I learned the other day. It was a TikTok, and I just got into this whole thing, and I find it very interesting. So there was this science experiment that this dude put a fucking bat, like a fucking flying bat, on a swing, and then they fucking recorded the bat, like the audio of the bat as it swung, and fucking they found a live bat, and they found out. Swing? So get this shit. I find this so fucking fascinating. If you're running down, if you're walking or running down the street and you make a noise, like at a certain frequency. So you should be able to kind of understand. You should understand frequencies a little bit. As you know, you have low frequencies, high frequencies, starts at like 100, goes all the way to, what we get. I can't remember where we peak out at, but 5,000. So a bat's ear has like, they show like a bat's ear is like, can't hear shit until it gets to this one certain, there's like this growth. All bats have this oversized growth, and it affects one frequency, like one tiny frequency, and makes it fucking bulge out. And so they can't hear anything below that frequency or above that frequency. Can't hear shit. And it's a really high frequency, so most things aren't on that frequency because it's such a high frequency. So that's how they do their echo shit. Is they're one of the only creatures that like they're one of the only things that makes that frequency. So like whatever that noise is, and then it fucking bounces back. So since it's this rare frequency, they don't have to battle other frequencies, you know what I mean? Other things making noise, cars, planes, other animals, birds, shit like that. They can all be making noise, and their frequency isn't affected. It's this rare high frequency. Okay, so but it's super finite. Like they are in like exactly whatever. Let's say 5,000 K. Like whatever it is, I can't remember what the number is, but it's like super finite. If it goes too high above that, they lose the frequency. If it goes too low below that, they lose the frequency. They can't hear that frequency. Okay, what happens with when you move, when you go faster or slower? I actually didn't know this. Is if you're running down the street and you scream out a certain frequency, it actually, as it reflects back to you, since the sound wave moves away from you, boom, 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 boom. It hits an object and then moves back to you. If you're running, you actually perceive the frequency higher because you're stacking those waves on each other as you move faster. Or if you slow down or if you move away from it, the waves start stacking longer and longer. You perceive them longer, so it actually tones down the frequency. So a bat, if it makes a frequency and then it speeds up, it loses the frequency. You know what I mean? It can't hear the frequency anymore because it's going fast. You understand that? A bat changes its voice in relation to how fast the bat is going. Isn't that fucking insane? The bat will, if it bolts faster, it will when it screeches, it pushes, it actually it slows the pitch down so that when it reflects back to it, it's always at that 5,000. So what they did is they put a bat on a swing and they recorded it, and as the bat went forward, it did a lower frequency screech, and then as it went backwards, it did a higher frequency screech, so that from its perspective, the screeches coming back to it never changed. They were always exactly on that frequency. Is that not fucking insane?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? I was blown away by that. Like, that's fucking badass.
But why are they screeching? Are they trying to talk?
No, so shut the fuck up.
What?
That's how they see you, son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They use sound to see their objects around them. But so what would happen is if they didn't do that, they would end up running into things. Because they would, it would fuck them up. They would screech and they'd be like, oh, and if they did the same frequency screech, they would misjudge how far something is ahead of them. Because they'd get the bounce back and they'd be like, oh, that's 10 feet, where it's actually 9 feet. And then they try to dodge and they just hit the wall.
Yeah. I wonder so they're just doing this because it's dark?
Because they can't see. I don't know if you're just...
They can't see?
Yeah, I don't know if you're just like setting me up so that we keep conversation going, or if you're just like, I don't know, but
no, a little bit of both.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking, I wonder what their vision looks like. I didn't know they can't see anything.
I don't think they can see anything.
Oh, okay. I knew they used the sound for location. Echolocation.
That blew me away. I thought that was so fucking cool. And obviously they don't even think about it, but it's just it's just crazy. It's crazy that this little animal, tiny little fucking brain is just capable of, imagine, no human could fucking do that. You know what I mean? To be so fucking perfect with their, I don't know, have you ever seen the videos of blind people that use echolocation? It's fucking fascinating. There's certain blind, look up, there's some famous people like on YouTube that
Daredevil.
They like were born blind, and fucking they straight up use there was this black dude I was watching who just goes around going, and he can fucking straight up just walk through a house, and it's as if he can see, and he's just fucking, and he just fucking, and he's
crazy,
and he can just hear it. He knows when he's coming up to a wall. And he can just hear things. He hears people. He can fucking just like, yeah, that person's over there. He just like, as he walks through a room, yeah, that person's right there. And it's just like, what? I don't know. That's so cool. It's so cool. And I don't know.
So if there's like a bat like in your garage and it's sleeping and you were like, hey, bat, like it wouldn't wake the bat up.
Supposedly, no. Supposedly its frequencies, it's designed that way, is that it just cuts out. It's like a fucking shelf. It just shelves everything that way and shelves everything that way and just keeps...
It has to be making noise. Or I guess, yeah, it has to be making noise of its own frequency, not just other noise.
Yeah, I bet you could make a fucking... So you could probably, if you didn't like bats, you could probably figure out what that frequency is and then blast that frequency and they would fucking not hang around. You know what I mean? They'd be like, nope, this is fucking me up bad. I can't see anything. And they just bounce.
And you just have a bunch of dogs running over to your house.
Yeah, just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
I wonder if dogs can hear bat fucking frequencies.
Yeah, I wonder.
Have you ever... you can fish for bats? If you fucking take a fishing pole... and then let out like 20 feet of line and then put a weight at the end of it and just swing it up in the air, you'll fucking thwack bats. They'll think it's
if I go out in my backyard.
If you got bats, dude, go take a fishing pole, throw a weight on it, and fucking go whipping it around, and the bat will think it's a bug and fucking attack it, and you'll fucking knock the bat out. Real shit right there.
That's what they were doing in Wuhan when they fucking got corona.
They were throwing pangolins. They put pangolins on the end of fishing lines and were fucking flapping them around.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Ah, hell yeah. So what do you got, buddy?
So just that, I don't know, it was kind of an interesting story I was trying to follow all week, but it turned out to be not that interesting, but it made me go down some YouTube rabbit hole. I went down a crazy-ass YouTube rabbit hole the other day. I'll tell you what. Okay, these things don't really have that much to do with each other, but I was just... So here's how it kind of went. I have this new podcast I enjoy. It's called The Friendship Onion. Nobody's going to give a fuck about this, but it's called The Friendship Onion, and it's by Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd, who played two hobbits in Lord of the Rings. They're now doing a podcast together, and which kind of makes sense. And one is British, one is Scottish.
I think Sawyer was just telling me about this. Someone was just telling me about this podcast.
Okay.
And I just talked to someone about this podcast. That's weird. They play video games, right? Isn't that their whole thing? Don't they play League of Legends?
They play League of Legends. They don't play it on the podcast, but they talk
about League of Legends.
Yeah. The first episode had me laughing so fucking hard I almost drove off the road because I couldn't keep my eyes open. But so I was watching some of those episodes, and then it started recommending me. It recommended me like this girl watches Lord of the Rings for the first time, and I was like, okay. So I watched her watch Lord of the Rings for the first time. Not like the whole entire thing. It's cut into, it's just like a shorter video. And I watched that, and then I was like, I enjoyed watching that, so I watched her watch some other movies for the first time. Like, she watched like, and this is crazy because she's like 24, I don't know, she said she was in 8th grade in 2011, so I was trying to do the math. But she's like 24 or something, and she'd never seen like Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, American History X, Fight Club. She'd never seen any of these movies, and it's just so crazy that like, people have to play catch up because she's like, I don't know anything about Fight Club. She didn't know anything about American History X. She's like, I'm going into this knowing nothing, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, that's crazy. And then she did one for Interstellar, and I just watched that, and I'm like, God, I love Interstellar so much. It's such a good fucking movie. And that really didn't have anything to do with this, but that was just one YouTube rabbit hole. And then I went down another one kind of because of this Simone Biles story that the internet blew up over this week over the gymnast who she withdrew herself from the final competition or whatever in the Olympics in Tokyo. And half the internet was like, good for her for withdrawing herself for like mental health purposes, and the other half was like, you let your country down, and I'm like, and I was trying to find out what happened, and I'm scrolling through all this stuff, and it's just people's opinions, and I'm like, how do I find out what the fuck you idiots are just swarming with your opinions, and nobody's telling me what happened? I'm like, it took me forever to figure out what the fuck actually even happened. I'm like, God, the internet is just fucking, I hate it so much. But, so I was looking at that, and then I saw a video of someone explaining it. I guess maybe it was a Joe Rogan clip where she's like the GOAT of gymnastics of all time. Like she's considered like the greatest of all time for like the United States. Just the things she can do. So I was watching like highlights videos of hers, and it's just fucking insane. Like that a human being can do those things. She's like superhuman, and she like won 4 gold medals the last Olympics. And I'm like, damn. So okay, if people are saying she's the greatest of all time, I'll just go with that because the things I'm seeing is incredible. And then hearing her say that she withdrew herself because she got the twisties, and that she had done a thing like on the floor or on a fucking balance beam or whatever the thing is, where she was supposed to do 2.5 twists in the air. She did 1.5 twists in the air and landed it, and she thought that she had done 2.5, but she had actually only done 1.5. So she's like, she withdrew herself because she was mentally just out of it, and she could have got really hurt because she was forgetting where she was at in the air during twists. And I'm like, that sounds fucking terrifying, for one. I can't really blame her for that because that sounds fucking freaky that you're forgetting what twists you're at and whatever. And then other stuff like how she hadn't been taking her like ADHD medicine or whatever, and she was just mentally fucked up. And I'm like, well, people are mad about it because that's not the story you want. You want the story of like rise to the occasion and dominate and win first place or whatever. Like that's the cool sports story that America wants. And for some reason, I had thought about when I had heard that she withdrew herself and then America ended up getting silver and like losing to Russia, I had immediately thought about, or losing to someone, I thought about Brett Favre. And I thought about the Monday Night Football game where his dad died the day before. And everyone was like, is he even going to play? And he played, and he had like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. I looked it up. And he just like fucking like lit it up fucking lights out, dominating, and everyone was like, if he plays and he plays a bad game, it'll be okay because his dad died yesterday. But he went out there and just fucking tore it up, and I'm like, that's what you want to see. You want to see them be like, fucking just dominate. You don't want to see. It's not a good movie if it's like they just withdraw themselves. So I think that's what people were messed up about. But the whole thing about losing track of where you're at in the air just seems like a terrifying thing. So I'm not mad at her for that, even though you want the athlete to just rise to the occasion, because that's the good story.
Yeah.
And that led me to somehow watching her highlights and thinking about the whole thing. I ended up watching a bunch of highlights and like mini documentaries about the 1980 Miracle on Ice hockey team, and that was just incredible. It's like 1 a.m, and I'm watching stuff about the Miracle on Ice 1980 hockey team, and I'm like, that's the story you want. I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, I saw that going around. Didn't dig too much into it. That's different than I thought. I didn't realize. I thought it was I thought it was like mental health shit is why she backed out of it. Like, oh, I'm not mentally, blah, 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 blah. Which in that case, one, I really don't give too much of a fuck. Like, honestly, really don't care much about the Olympics.
No, me neither.
But I do understand. I don't know. That one's a dumb hill to die on for me. As far as seem like a lot of conservatives are really fucking up in arms about that, and it's like, this is what we're gonna get up in arms about. Okay, I don't agree with that, but I also do see. Before you just said that, if it was just mental health shit, I also do see like, okay, we need to stop like softening everything. Like, why does everything need to be soft? Like, this is what makes soft people, by just like, oh, if you don't feel like you're up for it, it's all right. You can just take a break. It's like, no, that's not that. I don't know. That's why we're fucking suck. That's why we suck at everything now. But I don't know. I really don't give a shit about any of that crap. I have been slightly.
She was thinking with the twisties thing, she's gonna go out there to try to win us
See,
gold.
I didn't. No. I totes get that. Like, that makes sense, and that makes.
And
like,
she's gonna end up one, hurting herself, two, not winning gold. And she was like, let somebody go, let another girl go that's feeling it, because I'm gonna hurt myself. Not like a depression thing, Yeah,
kind of see, and that's what I thought they were painting this whole thing as. Is like.
Yeah.
Which that's weird. But then, so along those lines, why does our fucking basketball team suck so fucking bad this year?
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
haven't we been undefeated for like 20 fucking years? Like,
something like that. I don't know how long it's been.
And I know Lillard's like a big one. So isn't he? It's him and the bearded dude, right? Are the two guys kind of representing?
And Kevin Durant.
Right?
Yeah.
Or no, wait. I'm okay? So I'm confusing that. Kevin Durant's not the bearded guy.
No.
Oh, who's that guy? Who's the guy with the big beard?
James Harden.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking that was Kevin Durant.
But you'd think our team could beat anybody.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and aren't people like kind of bitching?
Pathetic.
Aren't people bitching about LeBron James not being on it? Like, why isn't he representing America?
I don't know, man.
Was Michael Jordan on the Olympic team?
Yeah.
Always? Every time?
I don't know if every time, but that's what they called the Dream Team when Michael Jordan was on it and a bunch of other guys.
And so, aren't they bitching? They're like, oh, you are too involved in Space Jam and you're not fucking representing America as the best basketball player ever?
Oh, maybe.
I think that's a bitch. I mean, it's cool for Lillard in Portland. You know what I mean? Portland's all up in arms about it. They're like, yeah, fucking Lillard is fucking the champion of it. But it's like, really? Lillard? Like, he's the guy representing America? For the Portland fucking Trailblazers?
LeBron, who's 37, suffered an ankle injury and re-injured himself in the last game before the playoffs. He's already won 3 Olympic medals, but he sat out the 2016 Olympics and is not expected to ever play for Team USA again.
Rock and roll. It just sucks. I don't get how we're losing. I do not understand how we're losing. I thought we had the best basketball players in the world. I thought that's what... I thought when it
You'd
came to
think.
basketball, like, it's just like, yeah, that's the one thing we'll always get gold in. It's like, you can't fuck
Yeah.
around with, 200
It's
years.
like if there was like an Olympic football. It's
Exactly.
like, yeah, we would win.
Every time. Not now. Not
Yeah.
now. Now we're sending the B team over there.
Yeah,
Fucking.
we are. Yeah, nobody cares about the Olympics.
What about Curry? Everyone was talking about James. Why isn't Curry on the fucking U.S. team?
Dude, I don't know. You're asking me stuff I gotta look up.
You don't have to look up. These are just like rhetorical fucking questions. These are just blanket questions. You don't have to like look up people's opinion on it.
Right.
But I mean, why isn't Curry in it? I mean,
He
honestly,
said he opted out.
why?
Maybe they're scared of getting hurt.
Oh, that might be it. They just don't want to risk
Yeah.
it while they got other shit going on. Because
Yeah.
they're not getting paid to go represent America, right? Like,
Right.
and dollar bill, y'all.
If I already like did it and had a gold medal from it, and then 4 years later they're like, "Do you want to go again?" and I'm focused on the upcoming season, I might be like, "No, I got the gold medal. I'm good."
Yeah. But then again, end of the day, I don't really give a shit about the Olympics.
No.
I'd really care
Me
less
neither.
about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck what?
I was gonna say something, but I fucking forgot what it was.
I think so. Do you have those thoughts like right before you go to bed that you think are like really big thoughts, and then the next day you're like, that wasn't that big of a thought? You know what I mean? Like that wasn't that
Maybe.
legit of a thought. I don't know. I have them all the time. But I had a thought the other night, and I do think there is merit to the thought. Do you need to get something out? You look like you need to get something out.
No. I just remember. I was just gonna say another thing I thought of for that Olympic thing. I thought of Brett Favre, and this is before I even heard the reasoning behind her withdrawal. I thought about Brett Favre, and I thought about this one time I heard, and I don't know who it was. It might have been a player on the Bulls or something like that. It was like during the NBA Finals, a star player sat out because of a migraine. And I remember kind of thinking at the time, he should play anyway. But as someone who gets migraines, I get like 2 or 3 a year that are so bad, that are so crazy bad, that if I was in that situation, I'd be sitting out too. If me and you and our fucking rock star team went to the Olympics somewhere and I got one of those, I'd say, guys, I can't do it. Because, and I don't blame him at all for doing that. Whoever it was, I don't even know who it was, but I remember hearing about it. But it's like you lose, like I can't even text during it because my brain can't work. Like I can't drive during it because my brain can't work. It's really scary, and you like can't do anything except just like lay down. Because I like my vision gets all fucked up. There's no way you could play like a sport during it. So if stuff like that happens, I would have to withdraw. If it's just like nerves, that's when you're not supposed to. That's when an athlete's not supposed to. But if it's like a migraine or losing track of where you're at in the air, we can't just jump to conclusions, I feel like. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I actually had a few nights ago. I drank like 6 fucking White Claws and had a beer afterwards and got fucking smashed, like really drunk. It was really weird, and I wasn't eating very much through the day, so I think that's what fucked me up. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but I got really drunk off of not that much alcohol, and I went to bed at like 12:30, and I woke up at like 1:32 in the morning. Yeah, worst headache I've ever had in my life. It was fucking insane.
Ugh.
It legitimately felt like my head was in a vice. Like it felt like someone was squeezing my head apart. It hurt so fucking. I laid there and just put both hands on my head and just and would just move side to side. And then I ended up getting up, and I noticed it felt a little bit better when I was upright. So it was like the blood going to my head was making it way worse. So then I just went outside at 2 a.m, went out to the living room, turned fucking, and then just laid on the couch. Like, and it's the same couch I have here in the house, and just laid in this crack and fucking laid there for about an hour, just sitting upright with the worst fucking headache of my life. And then finally fell asleep for what felt like about 10 minutes and was like, okay, I think I can go back to bed. It still hurts so bad. And then went back to bed, and the second I laid down, it fucking was like a wave of just like the worst. Yeah, I was up until 5:30, 3 hours of the worst headache of my life. Yeah, it was bad. It sucked ass. I've never had something that bad.
Yeah, you should definitely keep drinking.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
Oh my God.
Did you go to work all week?
No, not at all. I haven't worked in 5 weeks now.
Christ.
I know. I don't want to not go to work, but there's no fucking work. I could go work at the shop, but it's $20 an hour and then no fucking 401k, and I'm not doing that. They can go fucking suck my balls. I'm not going to work in the shop.
So it's no longer a COVID thing.
No.
There's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. I don't know what to, yeah, I'm getting a little irritated. Getting a little fucking irritated. My brain's going in weird places.
Yeah, I bet.
So what I was going to say before all that is I had this thought the other day. Going to bed. I always have these. I have these fucking thoughts, like as I'm about ready to go to sleep, and I think they're like really big thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a good thought. It's a good thought right there. It's a good idea. What's going on right there? And this is somewhat legitimate. It's more like there's a problem I'm having, and I don't know what the solution is. And maybe it's just being more like you save everything on fucking hard drives or whatever, which blows my mind that you would keep all these fucking hard drives like a library.
I have every picture from my phone since I was like 2008.
Yeah, see, that's insane. But you have so much information, you'll never even be able to decipher any of that information. It's too much information. But it's like, so it was like there needs to be like someone needs to make organization here. Like there needs to be like an organization app that like combines like all the things you have on Facebook, like the things from like MySpace and shit. It's like I can't even get on my MySpace and I don't even know where that shit is. Or like I have old YouTube videos. I was looking for a YouTube video the other day that I uploaded. I know I uploaded like 4 or 5 YouTube videos when I was like a freshman in high school, and I can't fucking find them anymore. And I was like, I know they're out there. Like there's somewhere that fucking video is out there, but I couldn't fucking find it. Can't fucking find that video. And it was like, but then it was like something, there was a few fucking music songs like that I'd recorded a long time ago that someone just sent me, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I fucking totally forgot about that. And I was like, as I'm getting older, I'm losing, I don't know, but it's like almost something you could create for your kids, you know what I mean? Like fucking, so that they can look back at that and be like, oh yeah, this is like shit they did and stuff like that. And it's like, as time goes on, I keep losing things to just oblivion or forgetting things even exist. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I get what you're saying, and I know this happened a long time ago where MySpace just deleted everybody's accounts.
Oh, really?
So it's not...
They don't even exist anymore?
No, they don't exist anymore. That was a long time ago. They just wiped everything, because I deleted mine. Like a year or two after moving to Facebook, I went and deleted mine, and then later I regretted that. I was like, fuck, I'd love to go log back in and, see my old stuff. But I think at that point they had deleted everything.
Really?
But yeah. But I store everything. And you know what's even crazy is that my family had a box of old family videos on VHS. So, this is from like 92 to like 2002. And for my mom's birthday, I think, or it was Christmas, I converted them all to like files on the thumb drive and gave them to her, and then I have those. I have like 3 copies of them. And then when my dad died, I got this box. I have got this box of old scrapbooks and stuff or whatever, and there's a few CDs of like home videos from way back then. I don't even know how they were recording them. This is from like the 60s. And I converted all of those to files too, and I have those as well. So I'm feeling like I'm sort of like protecting all this content for the family because nobody else is doing that shit. You know what I mean?
Huh.
And I have like 3 copies of everything. all those pictures, all my pictures and videos and documents and like stuff from podcasts and schoolwork that I saved. I have like 3 copies of everything. And most of it, yeah, I'll give it to you, are worthless. But at the same time, I'm like, I still feel like it's cool to save those things.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of a sore subject.
It's like an OCD.
Yeah, my parents, when they moved, they were getting ready to fucking like downsize and retire. And so when they like getting ready to retire and sell the house and everything, they moved. Yeah. Anyways, when I was like 21, my mom always kept all the kid shit. She kept all the kids. So there's 5 kids. She kept all the shit from their childhood. You know what I mean? Pictures and stuffed animals or whatever. Just shit from the childhood. Yeah. And fucking what she did is she made scrapbooks for all the kids because she's like, I'm not going to carry this shit anymore. You know what I mean? She's like, we're getting ready to completely downsize everything we own. We're not going to be, we're not going to be staying in the house, anymore. Yeah. We can't carry this shit. And so they gave all the kids scrapbooks of like everything, fucking everything. And so they gave me my scrapbook when I was 21 years old, which was the worst fucking thing you could ever do because all my shit's gone. Everything from my childhood. Everything from my childhood's gone. And for fucking like 3 or 4 years, I was super depressed about it. It was like, it's fucking gone forever. Like, I'll never find it. Go? I have a fucking theory. I'm pretty sure. So when I was in Coeur d'Alene, I was staying with this girlfriend, and I'm pretty fucking sure it was in the basement of that house. And then we were like going through a breakup, and I went to Sandpoint, and then like a month later, they fucking moved out of the house. And I'm pretty sure, looking back, I like hit him up, like ask, I don't know, but it's fucking gone. I'm pretty sure they found it and they just threw it away. They're just like, fuck this. Really bums me out though. Fucking yeah. And why would you give a fucking drug-riddled 21-year-old kid all their fucking childhood memorabilia? Because how am I supposed to keep track of that shit? But it was my own fault. It was my own fault. Yeah. Fucking I'm an idiot. So it's all gone.
I agree with that. Like, you could hold it for a couple more years, but and it's like, to give to your kids, I wouldn't just hand my hard drives over to them. They would have to be gone through and filtered because there's a lot of sensitive information on there before I would just be handing it to them. But I think it all started with like the downloading of movies and sort of organizing those, that I was like, I need to download everything and organize everything.
It's going to be so interesting because the next generation is going to have the weirdest view into their parents' and grandparents' lives. Like, it's going to be insane. You're going to be able to go... Yeah. My kids are going to be able to see exactly who I am. Like, to the T. Yeah. Which is going to be nuts. Imagine being able to go back to your fucking mom or dad, before you were born and having... I mean, what we have 63 episodes. Let's say just an hour piece. That's 630 hours of fucking... 63 hours of fucking of just talking. That's insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. It'd be nuts to be able to go back, or like your grandpa to be able to go back and just listen to them talk. It'd be insane.
Yeah. Well, and then even then, I still like have this fear about that, and then that's why I just save it all myself too.
You have a fear of them, like of sensitive information, of like people seeing that. Like your kids or something like that?
Of like it on YouTube or something, it all getting wiped.
Yeah. Do you think there's a day? There has to be a day where we just wipe information, right? Like you have to, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there going to be just too much information? They're just going to be like, we can't, our servers, we're done storing shit on the server. Because I know, like, I remember on Joe Rogan, like 8 years ago, they brought up a number, and I haven't looked into it, but it's like every minute on YouTube, there's just the most astronomical amount of hours being downloaded. So every minute that goes by, it's like, 1,000 hours of content is uploaded. And then fucking, it's every minute, just 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. It's just like, fuck, dude.
I actually don't think it'll get to a point where they'll start wiping it because technology
We'll just
moving.
We'll just fucking to where a hard drive will get down to a fucking boop, little dot. We'll be able to store fucking
everything on YouTube. Will just be down to that dot.
Yeah.
They'll just so it'll be easier. Maybe I don't think so, but I don't know. It's crazy. I'm glad I do it, but I also feel like a crazy person doing it as well because it's like when I say every picture from all my phones since 2008, I mean like every random screenshot that you'd like send your buddy. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool though because I don't have any of that shit. I don't have a single picture from any phone before this phone right here. I don't fucking save any of it. Whenever I go into the store and they're like, "Do you want to convert any of that to the new phone?" I'm like, "Nope. I don't want any of that shit. I want a brand new, completely empty phone. Just give me an empty phone."
Yeah. You know what's interesting, and I was going to bring this up, is I actually get a lot of shit from people about how I go about getting a new phone. And people have gotten really angry at me, people that are listening to this, about how I go about it and say that I'm crazy. Because when I get a new phone, what I do is I don't move anything over to the next phone. And I take my old phone before I go get a new phone, and I take paper and a pencil out, and I go through and I write down the phone numbers that I want to keep, and I fill up like a whole page or 2 pages of notebook paper, and I skip the people that I don't care about, and I just write down the numbers that I want, and then I transfer all my photos off of it, and then I go get a new phone, and then I sit there and like watch a show or something, and I enter in all the numbers that I've written down, and then I just start fresh with photos. That's what I do, and it's a good system that works. But apparently, I'm like, a fucking, I don't know what they're called. I forget what they're called.
Okay, now, aren't they to the point now to where when you go in and they're setting up your phone, can't they tether the phones and can't you just select the numbers that you want?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they can do that. To where you can just get in your contacts and just be like, what do you want to transfer? And then you just fucking click the little things. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they can do that.
Apparently my way is like a boomer way.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But guess what? It works.
It does work.
It takes all day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my system.
It's like a Rolodex.
Yeah, it's like a temporary Rolodex.
Hell yeah. So, last night I was thinking, are we done? This subject seems like you got more to add there. Fucking.
No, I don't.
I don't know why this irritates me, but I just was thinking about a situation last night. And every few years I'll think about this and it'll just make me mad all over again. But when I was a junior in high school, I think I was either a sophomore or junior. I'm pretty sure I was a junior because the people I did this with were a year younger than me, and I don't think they were freshmen. I think they were sophomores. So, I think it was a junior year at the church that was down the street from the high school, down Division. Fuck, I can't remember what church that was, but then they like remodeled that church in like '05 and made it this huge.
Christian.
Yeah, it was next to the library. I don't know, but they made it like way bigger, built like a big warehouse right there.
Yeah, it's called First Christian Church.
Okay, did you go there or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So in like '06, I'm thinking '06, they did a Halo tournament there, and they fucking '05 maybe. It was like '05 or '06. They did a Halo tournament, and it was fucking cool because they did it like on it was on Halloween. It was the day before Halloween or 2 days before Halloween. You had to submit a group of 4. And I feel like Cedar Hills did one. Okay, anyways, I remember going and you had to have a group of 4 people, have a Halo team, and fucking we met there in the daytime. And they just set the whole room full. And I remember we were in the newspaper. I remember getting in the newspaper for playing it. Like, they took a picture of us. And fucking... So we go there, and there's like, I don't know, 25 teams. of people that like showed up to play Halo. And fucking, so I'm with Anthony Copeland, Reed Weber, and Sam Owens. And we were fucking good. Like, we fucking destroyed everybody. Me in particular, no, Halo 2, no one could beat me at that game. Not a fucking person could beat me at that game. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make this claim. You're going to think I'm stupid, but I'm fucking dead serious. I am going to go out on a limb and say when Halo 2 was out and there was like clans going, I'm going to say I was top 500 in the world. Like, fucking hands down. Like, and I'll back this up later on. I'll back this up a little later on, because if I do the math on like how the clans worked out, I'm like, dude, I have to be top 500. I would say even better than that, but I'm just gonna ballpark 500. So top 5. When we did that tournament, fucking there was these 4 kids in our high school. I can't remember any of their fucking names, but they were like more the nerdy kids. I know they were part of like when the school developed the fucking video game club. They were like super tight with the history teacher that put that together, the skinny dude, can't remember his name, but okay. They were fucking good. And so that first day we were just blowing through teams, and then there was this other team, they were blowing through teams, like just fucking them up. And then we played, like at the end we played against each other and they beat us. And fucking I was like, holy fuck, these kids are actually, because us, when we played, we never met people that would beat us. I remember my brother my older brother, who's like 7 years older than me, invited me over to all these older dudes' house, same team. We'd always played Halo together. And we went over there and they're like, hey, we're playing Halo. And we showed up to this house and we fucked them up. A bunch of older guys, and I was talking mad shit, and they got pissed. Like, we almost got beat up, because I'm just like, oh, you guys suck balls, and I'm just fucking people up, and they're like breaking controllers and shit. Like, fuck you kids. And so anyways, at this Halo tournament, these kids, we like, honestly, I'm like relaxed, because it's just like, dude, we're just blowing through people. And then we play these 4 kids, and fucking, they're good. It was like, and they're all like equally good. And then on our team, I'm hands down the best, but the other 3 kids were pretty fucking good at it. But so that night, the next day, they're going to do the 2 best teams. We're going to go into they're going to hold this event in the main room, because we were like in this weird room. And then in the main big room of the church, they had a huge fucking TV, like a big projector, and it was going to project, the 2 teams are going to play, and it was going to project on that big screen. And fucking the winner got 4, they were giving away 4 Xbox 360s, and then the second place got 4 copies of Halo. And I wanted an Xbox 360. I wanted it fucking bad. Like, I was broke, and I was like, this is the only way I'm going to get an Xbox 360. And fucking, so that night, we did the like preliminary shit, and then the next night, which was Halloween night, or I think it was like a Friday, and then Saturday was the deal. On that Friday night, it was Halloween night. And so we get done playing all that preliminary shit, and we're like hanging out, all 4 of us, and I'm like, okay, guys. I was like, these fucking other 4 kids, I know what they're going to do. They're going to go home, and they're going to fucking grind Halo. And then before they show up, they're going to grind Halo. So they're going to be like in it. You know what I mean? And I was like, we need to do the same thing. We need to go fucking play at least for 4 or 5 hours tonight. And then before we do the tournament tomorrow, we need to get a few hours of playing so that we're fucking fresh and good. It was Halloween night, and the other 3 guys were like, no, we ain't doing that. Like, we're going to party. And I was like, motherfucker. So everyone parties. They all party. We show up to that fucking Halo tournament at that church the next day. I score, it's team deathmatch. It's to 50 fucking points. 50 to win. We need to win 2 rounds, and they only need to win 1 because they beat us the night before. So they already had a win. You know what I mean? Jesus. And so we had to win 2. The next day, that first fucking game we play, I score 25 fucking points by myself. 25 fucking points, and we still lose the fucking match. I was so fucking mad, because I was like, dude, I am destroying these people. I'm fucking them up so bad. And then everyone else, the other 3 kids, fucking scored like 6 kills apiece, and we fucking lost. And I'm like, if you guys would have fucking played for a few hours, we would all have 360s right now, you motherfuckers. And I was so fucking mad at them for that. To this day, I'm still mad. Like, you sons of bitches. And then, like, to this day, I it's been forever since I've talked about this with them. But I remember, like, years later, especially with Anthony, was like talking about it, and he's like, no, dude, fucking. He denies what happened there. He's like, you didn't score 25. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I scored 25. You scored 6 points. He's like, nah, I don't think that's how that happened. I'm like, I fucking know exactly how that fucking happened. I was so goddamn mad at you. I don't know. It just, I was thinking about that the other day and it made me so mad. Okay, now to solidify the top 500 thing. So when Halo 2 was out, this is the reason I dropped out of school, is I was in a clan. I was in a fucking clan. And we were like, there was like, at that time, we were battling other clans. And there was all kinds of clans, but there was like 10 clans that were like good fucking clans. And I was top 5 in my clan. Like, there was 5 of us that were really good. The other 4 guys in my clan were, there was like one dude, fucking amazing. One of the best people I've ever seen at Halo. But so there was like 10 clans, let's say 5 amazing people in each clan. I was one of those 5. So we're talking about a pool of under 100 people. Now, I don't know about what was going on in Asia and shit at this time, so that's why I say 500, because let's say I'm 100 in the North American servers. Fucking, given how video games are going right now, Asian servers are fucking stupid. Fucking people in Asia are just too good at video games. It's not legit.
So you're saying you're top 100 in the United States?
I was at that time at Halo 2. I really, dude, I would never meet people that could beat me. I'd get online and fucking very few. There was one time I met these 4 black dudes from Philadelphia, and they were the best players I'd ever seen. They were it almost as if they were cheating. They were so fucking good at sniping, it made no sense to me. If you stuck your head out for 1 second, you were fucking dead. Like, they just were so fucking quick at no-scoping. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they fucking were so good at no-scoping. But other than that, whenever I'd play online, very rarely. I mean, and all I did was play online and fucking do the clan battles, and no one would fucking touch me at that game. But now it's totally different. Now I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it was that game that I was really good at, or if people just weren't playing that many video games. Because back then I'd fuck everybody up. But now I play video games, and dude, it's just the fucking threshold for being good at a video game is so fucking high that it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever watched Rocket League. But if you like, a lot of people, they don't understand how fucking difficult Rocket League is. And it's one of those games. I don't know why everyone hates that game, but it's one of those games that's played by a lot of professional video game people. Like, really, like high-end video game people. A lot of people play Rocket League. And when you realize how hard that game is, and then you watch people that are professionals at that game, it blows your fucking mind. It doesn't make any sense. They're doing things in that game that you'll never do. Like, I could literally spend the next 5 years playing 10 hours a day, and there's no way I'd be able to do what they're doing. And it's just insane. And the same with shooter games and shit like that. Like, these dudes are fucking incredible. Watching Shroud play is fucking like, it's just like, how is he that good? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know if the pool I was picking off of when in 05 was just, I wasn't seeing certain gamers, because it was a different world back then. EA was not a fucking thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know.
What do you mean EA was not a thing?
Or whatever the fucking
esports?
Yeah, it wasn't a fucking thing. Like, it wasn't you'd get online, you could just like, oh, fucking find professional gamers. There was no such thing as a professional gamer. You know what I mean? Like, fucking. Right. And then now, I don't know. I don't know if I just wasn't getting in the right pools of people, but I mean, I never found anybody that was better. Halo 2. But now it's like, any game you play, you're never gonna be a pro. They're just too fucking good. Yeah, I was watching you
guys play a little bit the other night. You guys getting fucked up.
Oh, at PUBG? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I thought I was pretty good at Halo 2 also. I entered a tournament in Spokane. And you played with a pool of 6 people, and it wasn't a team, it was just you, and the top 3 would move on, and then the top 3 would move on, and I was 4th, so I was just out immediately after one game. I was like, fuck.
Like it was single player?
It was like a team, a death match, but it was just 6 people all by themselves.
In a death match? See, okay. Now here's a weird stipulation. I was good at Halo all the way around, but there's something about 4-on-4. I'm really good at 4-on-4 because what would happen in those games, in most games, is it's not all about how good you are at shooting. I would say in a shooter game, a team deathmatch shooter game like Call of Duty, Halo, shit like that, 50% of the game is all about spawns. Because I would if you can just memorize the way a map works and memorize spawns, I would just do circles around the map and I knew where you were. If I killed you, I knew exactly where you were going to spawn. And so it gave you such an advantage because they would never know where you are and you would always know where they are. And so like, I mean, there was points where I could almost throw a grenade. I'd kill you, throw a grenade and get the next kill by the time you would spawn. Because I'd be like, I know exactly where you are. You know what I mean? So it's like, in most games are like that. Even, I think as games come out, they do a lot to try to negate that shit, like spawn camping. Because, I mean, in Black Ops 2, spawn camping was atrocious. Like, you'd get to a point where you literally couldn't do anything. You'd fucking spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die. And it was just like, I can't even do anything. I'm just dead. But when you're on the other side of that, it's just amazing. You're just like, dude, I'm fucking destroying these people.
Yeah, it's a whole different world now. In that, we had a pretty legendary airsoft game in that church.
Yeah. Inside the church?
Where you'd lock all the doors, and it was like in the middle of the night, and the lights were off in there pretty much, and it was just like one team versus the other team, just fucking lighting shit up. It was insane.
Huh. Hell yeah.
Some people got really hurt, and I lost a really good pair of gloves, the Carhartt gloves that I'll never forget. I lost them, and I fucking lost them in there, and it sucked, but it was pretty fun. Not gonna lie, and it was a mess that you had to clean up.
I'm sure there's little BBs fucking everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah, but they let us do it. And we were also scared because a lot of times in that church there's like glass doors on the entrances, and a lot of times we'd be walking by these doors in like full gear with like guns that look like real guns, and we were scared someone on like Division was gonna be like calling us in or something like that.
Yeah.
But that was pretty legendary.
We went to a dance once. There was someone older than me, so it was either my sophomore or junior year. But we went to a dance at the high school, and one of my buddies had a paintball gun in his car. And we were just like walking through the entrance of the school, and I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, oh, is that gun still in your car? Or something like that. And the fucking cop there, Chamberlain, was there, or I don't know, a cop was there, and heard me say that, and he's just like, what? And then my buddy's just like, you fucking idiot. And I'm just like, and so the cop made us fucking, and he was like, hand on his gun the whole time, like as we were getting in the car, and we're just like, no, it's a fucking paintball gun. And he's like, oh, okay.
Jesus.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One other thing, I saw during the previews for the movie I went to yesterday, which previews are just god awful, just terrible. I can't just, the more I think about it, the more I hate any kind of like movie previews. But I saw a preview for Jackass Forever. Forever. And I'm like, I'm gonna be seeing that it's like in October or something. And I remember thinking a long time ago like 10 years ago, when me and buddies would sometimes sit around and just watch like fail compilations on YouTube. I don't know, maybe it was a smoke and weed thing or whatever. We just liked watching them for a little bit there. And I was thinking like the Jackass guys didn't get credit for basically doing that before YouTube, before like people just liked fail compilations on YouTube. And then yesterday watching that preview in the theater, I was like, well, now they're kind of not getting credit for like doing TikTok stuff before TikTok. I feel like there's a lot of credit to be given there of having like funny videos, fail videos before they were on apps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they were the original.
I know it's stupid, but yeah, it's really weird.
Jackass, my generation, Jackass was fucking. I mean, I was in the 7th grade. Yeah, like 6th or 7th grade when fucking Jackass came out, and it was the biggest. That was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know many dudes that didn't try to make Jackass videos. Like every fucking person I know was trying to. You know what I mean? Like, it was so influential.
Yeah, it probably influenced everything, like right up to TikTok. You know, certainly not all of it, like doing dances or whatever, but you know what I mean. Just like fail videos of kids, like, you know, ramming a shopping cart into Eric's truck in a parking lot or something like that. You could probably bring it all back to that for like the internet generation.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
They're getting pretty fucking old. I saw like a slight trailer for it and was like, dude, they are getting old. A lot of gray hair in that group now.
Yeah. I know, a lot of gray hair, and it's showing them still getting hit by bulls and stuff, and I'm like, come on, dude. That has got to fucking hurt like a motherfucker. Because these, like, Johnny Knoxville's or something's like, I always said I'll do this till I'm 50, and I'm 49 right now, so, like, here we go. And then he gets, like, hit by a bull again. I'm like, oh, dude, come on. Fuck that. But yeah.
I feel kind of bad for, I don't know if you know any of this, but so, you know, Steve-O has been trying super hard to become a stand-up comedian. Like, real fucking hard. And so he just created a special, and no one would fucking produce it, whatever. They wouldn't put it on any network. Like, Netflix wouldn't take it, Hulu wouldn't take it, Prime wouldn't take it, you know, Comedy Central wouldn't take it, HBO wouldn't take it, no one. So he fucking, he just poured, like, I feel really bad for him because I was just hearing this whole thing. He, like, shot it all himself, did everything, and it's all on, like, steveo.com or whatever. And he really, like, solo released it and spent a lot of money on the whole fucking thing, production value, and it's just a complete flop. I feel kind of bad for him. Just like, that sucks, buddy.
Yeah, I think he's a great dude.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I can't remember. I think one of his biggest accomplishments is that fucking dog video, that YouTube dog video of him rescuing that dog, is like one of the biggest things he's ever done. Have you seen that video? It's like at fucking.
I vaguely remember it.
It's like at 250 million views or some, you know, just this astronomical YouTube video, and it's like not a funny video at all. I don't know. It's funny that Steve-O's most well-known thing is now him rescuing a dog, not fucking sticking a bottle up his ass or whatever the fuck his other shit is.
Yeah, and I liked him for the whole SeaWorld thing that he did, too, because fuck SeaWorld.
What's the SeaWorld thing he did?
He, like, climbed up a billboard and put something over where it says, like, SeaWorld next exit, and then he, like, stayed up there forever. Like, he, like, wouldn't come down, and there was a bunch of, like, fire trucks and cops and helicopters and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. We good?
That's all I got.
Wrap this shit up.
I'm going to mess with my cameras.
Erick and Brad Show at gmail.com, episode 63 in the books. I'm Eric, and thank you for stopping by. That's Brad, and he thanks you too. Until next week, you guys have a good one.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now, so I need that go, y'all. Got hits when he throwing the fastball. Just too quick for it, peeling off like the whip orange. Seen the effort, this piss poor. I got too much, I gotta tend to. Car payments and the rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money stabbing, I'm 10-2. Too much that I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in a black whip, got old problems with the friends new. Yeah, I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues.
Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Boy got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the raps. Had a few friends, but they stuck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride till I hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen a rev on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making hits, dog, like I'm in a big league.